Hey y'all, this is David, the Georgia photographer, and today I'm out here at Glen Falls Trailhead on the side of Lookout Mountain. I have the Leica SL2 and my 24-90 SL lens. So I finally have a native lens. The lens and camera are water resistant, so I can get out in the rain with them. It won't hurt them, in theory. I want to go do some waterfall photography with it. Might even do a little bit of wet street photography in downtown Chattanooga today, because I'm just a few miles from there. So let's get started on this. Okay, to give you some of the little background specs on this lens right quick, just to talk about it a little bit. This is a 2.8 to f4 variable aperture lens. So it's not a constant aperture lens. I can only imagine how big it would be if it was an f2.8 90mm autofocus zoom lens in this package, because this lens is very big. It's an enormous lens. What we're going to do is we're going to take off down this trailhead and gather up my gear. This is the maiden voyage of me doing something in the rain, so let's see how it goes. I've come out because I just want to get out with this new lens and play with it some. Came in Tuesday, here it is Friday, and I have yet to use it more than just taking a couple of sample photos in the house to make sure it survived the journey from UPS. That's the extent of my use of my brand new lens. So here I am out in the woods in the rain, and it's October. I was really hoping there would be leaf color changes, but as you can see from the background, it's still green, and it's the 29th. Dude, it's 2 days to Halloween and the leaves ain't turned yet. That's just weird. I don't know what the deal is with that, but I've been trying to think of some places to go that would be a little different from my usual modus operandi. And I've been to this falls once before in the past. We hiked down here just for a hiking trip on a day trip. And it was a really interesting walk, so it wasn't a bad hike at all. And it's a nice, clean trail. I mean, look at this. This is the trail. It's just right down the side of the mountain. You park right on the road, so it's easy to access. I'm the only one here today, so nobody else is with me. I have the whole place to myself. The drawback to this trail is it's downhill to the waterfall slightly. The grade descends as you get closer to it. So that means it's uphill all the way back to the truck. One other thing that's of interest is that I finally got to use one of these rain covers so that I can keep my camera bag dry. I've had these bags from Think Tank Photo for literally years, and I've never put the rain cover on one of them. And they all come with one. But today I was like, hey, this tree literally just fell the other day. Yeah, that's pretty fresh. And big. That would have been interesting to be here when that happened. I wouldn't have took this one with it. Two old growth trees went down together that day. I know when this happened. It probably happened either yesterday or the day before, because the front that brought this rain in had a lot of wind in front of it, and it was super windy that day. I guarantee you that's when it happened. And I bet that was loud. But I've never got to use one of these rain covers, so today is the day I get to use it. And the way this one attaches to this pack, it actually just covers it from the front. So the part that sits against your body doesn't have a covering. And, you know, that allows you to cover your gear while you're walking. And it gives you moderate protection. It doesn't make it perfectly dry, but it'll keep it mostly dry. And it allows you to set it down on the ground and keep your gear out of the dirt and mud. It'll get on the rain cover, which you can wash easily enough without soaking up into the pack itself. I thought that's pretty good designing, because this one's a back access. I've always had the front access packs, and I really wanted one that didn't get the side that's next to your body all muddy and dirty when you used it, because it seems like that's the only ones I ever had. And I finally got this one, and I really like this thing. It's a Think Tank Photo retrospective. I think it's a 15 liter, 15L I believe is the model. It's the one I travel with now. It's perfect for my uses as a travel pack. I carry it everywhere. It's been to Costa Rica, it's been to Nevada and Utah, and yeah, I like it. It really works well. It's also been to Tennessee. That's where I'm at right now. All right, we're getting close. I mean, look at this trail. It's a beautiful trail. It's well maintained. I'm trying to keep the camera pretty stable. I don't know how well the stabilization is working on it. It's supposed to be rock steady. At least that's what they advertise. I think I hear it up ahead. I'm getting kind of close. You're right above it when you're driving down the mountain, and you go into this horseshoe bend around a steep holler. And when you go around that bend, you're right above the waterfall. And you have to drive about a quarter mile down the mountain to find the parking area to be able to walk back to it. Now, I still got a good little piece to go. We'll come back in a minute. Here's another pro tip. I'm almost there. I think I hear it over here. If you do a little bit with tripods and you don't do a lot with them, so you don't keep your gear, I'm just going to slow down here. I'm getting kind of aggressive with my hike, but there we go. Been pushing myself kind of hard. If you keep your tripods and you don't use them a lot, but you use them some, okay? You know, people that frequently use their tripods have processes in place for all the little things that goes along with having them. I don't use them a lot. I use them at night for my long exposure a lot of times, and I use them for stuff like what I'm doing today. So I keep them in a certain mode so that I have them ready when I need them. So what I do is I don't have the super expensive ones. This is a Geekodo. It's an AT24 EVO Peak. I think I actually got this one for Christmas. I asked for it for Christmas. What I do is, if it isn't already a Arca Swiss mount, thank you, Aaron, for converting me to Arca Swiss. I convert them to Arca Swiss. You can buy the Arca Swiss adapter and screw it right on top of whatever plate the brand you have is. Like my Manfrotto has a custom plate. You know, they use their own mount. So I actually screwed an Arca Swiss base onto that mount and then put it on the tripod. That way it's an Arca Swiss now. And I convert them all to Arca Swiss. I don't bother with trying to unscrew them from the ball attachment and all that stress, because you end up possibly damaging the ball mount if you do. But once I've converted them to Arca Swiss, then I put an Arca Swiss plate in every one of them and store it there. That way, when I get to wherever I'm going, if I need my tripod, I can mount it up and use it. I don't have to try. I have plates in my pack too, but just in case you get to where you're going and you forget the plate in your pack, there's one on the tripod. You know, it's a little bit of a life hack, you might say. But yeah, I just wanted to share that with you. And that way, like today, I grabbed the tripod, there's a plate on it. I know I can mount my camera up and go. I think this is the waterfall. Now I just got to get in a position to photograph it. The road is literally right up there at the top of that cliff face. So let's go on up through here and see what we can find. Something else I've learned while doing this YouTube channel. I used to shoot my waterfalls at like 2 and 3 second exposures to smooth out the water. Now I shoot them a lot of times at the fill thatch speeds, like 1/4 second, maybe half, somewhere in that neighborhood, because it seems to not make the water so fake. All right. There's a pool. That's pretty certain that was it down there. This trail is pretty prominent and still goes on, so we're going to go on up here and see what's on up this way a little bit. I have found this. I'm at Glen Falls, but look at this. Isn't this neat? They've built a set of stairs. So let's go see where they go. This is really cool. It's coming in above the falls, I believe, so maybe we'll see something interesting up here. It's pretty style. Oh look, it goes through a little cave that they've built staircases into. This is kind of tight with a backpack on. Oh, it brings you out above the trail. Yeah, okay. There's one of the falls. Comes down off of that rock, down to that one, down through there. It's kind of hard to see. The stream down there, I think, had a more prominent cascade. You can walk on, you can get completely above it. The trail goes on around this way. Interesting. All right, I'm gonna go down to that lower cascade. I think it'll be more photogenic, I think is the right word here. But yeah, you go through a little cave to get up onto this overlook. That's kind of neat. Even that they built steps to get here. That's pretty cool. Okay, I think, let's see, from right here. Yeah, I'm gonna set my tripod up right here in the middle of the trail. Whew. And wearing this raincoat makes it hot. But yeah, I think right here's where I want to be. This cascade looks better than the one up there because of the water flow rate, and I like this one better, so we're gonna set up here. Let's see, is that elevation good? Yeah, actually. Now I just need to lengthen this leg a little and get the tripod closer to level. There we go. Pull this plate off that I happened to bring, and now we get our camera out. Yeah, it's actually sprinkling. I might have to put my hood back on. I gotta admit, I kind of like the way this cover does. The way it keeps the camera dry. It's kind of nice. There. See, the cover snaps onto the front with an elastic band, and it's kept the rain off all the way. It's wet there, but it's not where I wear it. So now I got to sit it in such a way. There we go. Okay. Let's put this on. I keep a coin in my pocket from Costa Rica. It's a 100 colony coin. It's a copper coin, and it's the perfect fit to these tripod screws. So it's got little dents and dings in the perimeter of it where I've been tightening these lugs on these things. Okay, we'll mount this up. I'm just gonna say it, this lens is front heavy. It's very heavy, I can feel it. Okay. Let's spin this around. See what we see here. Pull the lens cap. For some reason I decided to leave that on. Power on the camera. What does it see? Dude, at 24 millimeters it sees everything. Oh, this is nice because I don't have to go down there. I can just kind of build my composition. I think I want to go down there, and there's a trail right here that goes down to the bottom of the fall. I think I want to try to get down there and go really wide looking up at it and do that photo too, because this one looks good. It's got a nice, smooth, pretty cascade. Yeah, looks real good. I've got some scenery around it as well. All right, well, down the hill we go. All right, I'm down here at the base of the waterfall, and I literally had to come all the way to this tree to get it out of my frame. So I'm shooting at 24 millimeters, and look where I put my tripod. I've actually got it in the water so that I can get the angle up to get the waterfall in the frame like I want, because I also want this pool in the water. And I've got a long shutter, I've got it at f8. The ISO's at 50. You can go to 50 on an SL2. And so I'm currently at, what time frame does that say? 6-second shutter speed. And the photos are incredible. Now, I'm gonna change my composition ever so slightly. I'm gonna loosen this and bring it around a little bit, put that over to the side somewhat. There's a big rock right there that I would like to be a prominent feature, but there's nowhere for me to be. There is where I need to be, and hiking shoes just ain't cutting it. Unfortunately, I got a rock to keep my foot on to keep me from getting as wet. Yeah, you see, it's kind of hazardous here. So, yeah, that's a beautiful scene, isn't it? Look at that. I might try to get that frame if I can do it. That'd be kind of tough, but there's nowhere to stand. But yeah, I'm gonna get another photo of this. Let's see here. Look at this camera. It's incredible. But yeah, that's what I'm having to go through to get this waterfall photo. All right, moving right along. Doing this one-handed is probably not the smartest way to come out of here. But you do what you can. Yeah, that rock's starting to get slick. Okay, it's across the huge tree that's fell down. Step down on something solid. All right, we got our photo of this waterfall. So, I'm headed to the truck. May go get a cup of coffee in Chattanooga and then do some street photography. I don't know that I want to do a second waterfall today, especially with the other one has a lot of bouldering and rock hopping, and it's all wet, and that's just a recipe for disaster. So let's go see what Chattanooga has to offer. Come on. And I dried the camera out, drank some coffee, ate some french fries. It's much warmer now, but it's not raining as much as I wanted it to be. So once we get over here to the more downtowny area, we'll see what we can get for reflection photos and see what it looks like. But for right now, it's just kind of icky is a way to put it. So we're going to see what we can come up with. Well, I'm just going to be perfectly honest with you. I'm out here in the middle of Miller Park, as you can see, and what I have found is I've walked down here to downtown and there's literally like nobody out. It's soaking wet with rain. Nobody's, you know, there's a few people walking around with umbrellas and stuff, but they're not doing anything interesting. They're just kind of, you know, traveling. And it's really tough for me to find some kind of an interesting photograph in that. I think what I'm gonna do is hang it up, go back and edit this video and share my photo, my favorite photo from the waterfall, and we'll see how that looks. Let's do that. And maybe if I can find something of interest along the way back, I'll have a street photo or two to share as well. But sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. And I was hoping it was going to be actively raining, and it seems to have moved out. So I was really hoping to get that kind of a scene, you know, with puddles and raindrops hitting them and all that sort of thing. That was kind of my goal with this trip, and it was doing that when I was at the waterfall, but by the time I got to Chattanooga, it's basically quit. So, I mean, there's just a few little droplets on my camera. I mean, it just barely has sprinkled. So, all right. So with that, this is David, the Georgia photographer. And until next time, get your camera out and go take a picture with it, all right? We'll see you later. Bye-bye.